The big news is probably that Jonathan Tchamwa-Tchatchwa went down with what looked like a pretty devastating knee injury. There's no official updates on what's going on with him right now, but Coach Prohm, that did not look like a good injury. What do you make of this Baylor team if they are in a situation where they're not going to have everyday John moving forward?
I think Baylor and Scott Drew and his staff have been fighting a lot of adversity the last couple of weeks, I think, with the injury bug. And today, not only JGT's out, for a majority of the game, but then you look at LJ Cryer's out, and other guards have been out as well for them this year. But I think when you really go and you look at the injury, and you're going to talk about that tonight, I started looking at the roster and you start thinking, all right, what's the best way for them to continue to be successful? Obviously, Thamba's got to be huge for them up front, which I think he's been terrific for them. He was great for them last year, a big key to their championship run, and he's been very, very good for them this year. But I think when you look at them, do they go small? The great thing about them going small is guys like Jeremy, guys like Kendall Brown. Those guys got great size, 6'7", 6'8", 6'9". So though they're can play the 4. They could even play 5. They could even play the 5 the way Baylor likes to play some. And so I think the staff will, maybe make some minor tweaks, from that standpoint. But, I think Baylor's used to playing with adversity right now. And, they have a chip on their shoulder. The one thing is they've made great strides from their 2 home losses against Tech and Oklahoma State. And they played extremely well today against the Texas team that had just beaten Kansas and Iowa State over the previous week. And so they're a game out of the Big 12 race. They've got Kansas coming to their place. So I think their biggest focus is to get ready and get rest and figure out what they want to do headed down to Lubbock on Wednesday night.
Yeah, Sweeney, does this change what you think Baylor's ceiling can be? We were talking about it a little bit off air, but do you think that this is a team that can still go win the Big 12 without everyday John in there? I mean, he is the heart and soul of that. As much as anybody can be the heart and soul of a team, he is the heart and soul of that Baylor team. I don't know how you replace that easily.
Yeah, I mean, it would be a devastating blow if he is, in fact, done for extended length of time or potentially the season. I think it would change my outlook, especially because their defense has not been great in conference play. It was better today. They did a really good job against Texas and made them really work for everything. But, their defense has not been, national title Baylor elite defense the last month. I think if you look, based from January 1st on, they're like in the 40s national defensive efficiency versus, the top 10 where they were most of last year, and then in the top 10 for most of this season in the non-league. So to lose the guy who's so good for them defensively because he can switch, because he can wall up, because he can, protect the rim, that's huge. And I think, obviously, they can go small. Sohan and Kendall Brown have the, physical tools to maybe play some small ball 5, but are they going to be as good protecting the rim and rotating in that defense in a new position? I think that remains to be seen. So I think it would certainly hurt their ceiling and make it a lot tougher because they don't really have another backup big guy. Zach Loveday has really been a garbage time only guy. And so, maybe you can bump Thamba to 28, 30 minutes a game, but there's 10 minutes out there. You got to find a way to fill them. And I think it hurts them to lose Tchamwa-Tchatchwa in a major way.
Yeah, go ahead, Steve.
But when you look at Tchatchwa, there's not a coach in the country that doesn't want that kind of player on their roster. I mean, he's the kind of guy, the motor guy, the energy guy, the toughness guy, the glue guy, whatever you want to say. There's not a coach in the country that wouldn't want to have a guy like him on the roster. So obviously there's some impact there. Loveday may get some opportunity. The one thing about Baylor's guys, when their moment's been called, all these guys went pro, the next group in line, it's your turn. And you got to deliver. And they've delivered for the most part all year long. The next guy's got to step up. And that's what Baylor's philosophy's been since it really all kind of started a couple years back when the big fella Tristan Clark got hurt. He was their main guy. And then he gets hurt and the team starts to transform. And it was a team that wasn't supposed to be an NCAA tournament. And from there on, they've really just kind of adjusted and now they've become a national powerhouse.
Yeah, I was about to say that it was the 2018-2019 team, I believe, when Tristan Clark went down halfway through, and then they lost Mario Kegler, and then Mekhi Mason was in and out of the lineup, and they just had these guys that were randomly popping up that, you know, happened to be Jared Butler or someone that popped up and happened to be who else was it? I think King McClure was on the team, but it was Freddie Gillespie came in off the bench, and he ended up being like an NBA player. And Devontae Bandu, remember Devontae Bandu just came off the bench, flamethrower off the bench. So that Baylor program has had a way of being able to thrive in next man up scenarios. We were actually able to we have some boots on the ground in Waco right now. Talia Goodman, who is the daughter of Jeff Goodman and the very clear and obvious media talent in that family. She was at the Texas and Baylor game, and they were able to catch up with Scott Drew afterwards.
Here with Coach Scott Drew after a big win over Texas. You were able to dominate without your leading scorer and your top big man. What does that say about you as a team?
Well, first and foremost, the guys really stepped up. When John went down, that impacted us all. He's so likable and love him. And obviously, we've had LJ out. We've had a bunch of others out, but John just right in front of us. Thoughts, prayers went out to him. Really credit Flo for stepping up, double-double, career high in block shots. And it just speaks to the depth of our team and that next man up mentality.
I know it's early after the game, but do you have any updates on the status of?
Not yet, and we're praying and hoping for the best. So hopefully we have good news because we have enough guys out. Our trainer's getting a bigger team than we're getting, so he doesn't need them.
And Adam Flagler obviously had a great game today. Started 4 for 4, ended the game with 20 points. What impact did he have on today?
Well, Adam's someone that's not still 100% and did a great job being efficient and not forcing things and playing within himself. And I tell you, him and James in the backcourt really allow you to go to bed at night and sleep well. And once we can get LJ back and Deo, I mean, those guys do a great job.
You guys were able to take the lead early and maintain it throughout the entire game. You had as big a lead as 21 points. How were you able to gain that lead and maintain it?
Well, our defense was really good today. I thought we could test a lot of shots. They missed some open ones, which you always have, but we got rebounds, got out on breaks, we got the lead. And then it's the coach's worst nightmare. Once you get a lead, then you relax, and then you turn the ball over, you take some bad shots, and next thing you know, it's down to 10 points, and you're back to where you started. And really credit our guys. They made a run, but we answered it, never got down to where it was 6 points, 7 points, and where they really threatened.
It was a great Wednesday. Thanks so much.